All right, Good American Family, episode 2, season 1, episode 2. So, when episode 2 begins, we see Michael sit in his yard with a detective. So, out comes his new wife. She's hot and she's younger. And Michael is a stepfather to her 3 children. So, Michael describes his new wife as the best and completely different from Christine. So, I initially thought that that was a compliment, but I'm not sure. As we continue to watch, we'll see. I don't know if he's trying to convince himself that she's better than Christine, or if because he didn't necessarily. I don't know. I'm not sure. We're just gonna have to watch and see. So while Michael is meeting with this detective, this is his description of Christine. He describes Christine as he says Christine is the devil. She's the worst kind of devil. She's a gift. She thinks she's a gift to the whole goddamn world. Those were his words. And she likes to take credit for everyone's success. So as we're listening to Michael disparage Christine, the scene transitions to Christine in the questioning room with the detective, and the detective is playing the recording. So he states that it was recorded last week, and that's how they were able to arrest Christine today. So Chris says, don't believe anything that man says because he's the real devil here. So let me go back to the end of episode 1, because that's where, after this scene, it picks up at the end of episode 1, where Christine saw Natalia in her room with Hercules and a knife at the bedroom door. And when she invited her in to cuddle, she said, it's not time for that yet. So I don't know what she meant for that. Maybe she means it'll be cuddle time once she gets rid of her. I don't know. But we're going to find out more about her history, I'm sure, as the show goes on. So anyway, she goes into the room because she sees her at her door, her dang on door, Hercules and with a knife. And so when she goes into the room, Natalia's in her bed, and she actually, just start looking around trying to see, what's what, looking for this knife. And she doesn't see it. She doesn't see it. And Natalia wakes up and she says, like, what are you looking for, mommy? Or what are you doing, mommy? And she just lets her know that nighttime, she asked her if she came into her room, and she said no, or did she have anything from downstairs? Whatever she asked her, Natalia lied. And so basically, Christine is afraid. So she tells Natalia, she said, I just want to remind you that nighttime is for sleeping. It's not for wandering. This little girl actually had the audacity to roll her eyes at Christine. And then she looks at Michael and says, Daddy, can you tuck me in again, Daddy? Very manipulative. So at some point during Christine's search, Natty Batty starts yelling, stop, Mom, stop. What are you doing? No, no, stop. So, of course, Michael comes into the room. So that's how he gets there. So when Michael is coming to Natalia's rescue, he begins making excuses for Christine, saying, oh, mommy's tired, things like that. So anyway, Michael tries to convince Christine that she's having bad dreams again. All right, so when she left the room after him making these excuses, she went straight downstairs to look in the drawer to see if the knife was there. She expected it to be gone, however, it was there. So that's where Michael starts to try to convince her that she's having dreams like her father, and they call them stress dreams. So she explains to Michael that she's frustrated because she's having a difficult time connecting with Natalia. They're not connecting, and she just cannot talk to her. How is she going to reach her if she can't talk to her? And so when she describes this to Michael, he is he's understanding, and he does begin to comfort her and to give her, some motivation, let her know that everything will be okay. Like, you could tell he's listening to her. So, all right, so you guys remember me telling you that, remember Christine's phone kept ringing. First it was somebody that was telling her she needed to just leave it alone. And then the second time, she actually lied to Jacob, and she said, oh, it was your brother's school. But it was actually Natalia's school. So when Chris had taken Natalia to the school to get checked in, they had problems with the paperwork. It was too much stuff that was redacted, like important dates on vaccines. Like, they don't need to redact the dates of the vaccines. And then, like I said, the issue with the phone numbers. So long story short, he gets the child is in school, Natalia is in school, and when he gets that phone call, when Christine gets that phone call, it's because he wants her to come to the school and get her, because she is running over the kids and everything with her what you call that, with her walker. So long story short, when they're on the way home, Christine starts to ask her questions, just trying to find out a little bit more about what happened, a little bit more about what might be going on with her. Well, while she's asking all of these very harmless questions, but she's just trying to get information, and she's being, clever about it. Natalie is just banging on things. She's banging on the door. She's tapping. She's humming. She's clearly frustrated. So, then she eventually says to Chris, I thought you weren't allowed to ask questions because it's a closed adoption. So Chris explains that we're family now and it's okay for her to ask these questions. And so you can see that Natalie becomes very frustrated. So we see Natalie open up the van door as they're driving on the highway, causing Chris to have to pull over. Christine yells at Natalie and tells her that, what she did was wrong. She should not do that. It's very dangerous. And Natty Batty acted like nothing happened, and she just started humming. She just started humming. So this behavior makes Chris start looking up First Path. And she finds a website called Survivors of First Path. And there are people up there where they were promised babies to multiple parents. There is one family who they had been waiting and paying, for their baby that they believed they was going to get once it was born. And 2 weeks before the delivery date, they were told that the birth mother was shot and killed. So basically, they lost their money. Then someone else was saying how First Path ruined their life. All right. So, yeah. So, Jacob, speaking about Jacob real quick, he's very sharp. So while she's doing her research on everything I was just telling you about, Jacob is in a room with her. He's sort of doing his own research because you know how he is. So he's observative and he observes her behavior, and he's very keen. So he questions her about why she didn't tell Dad about Natalia getting kicked out of school today. And she just explains to him that, did you see how happy he was? He was so happy. He was in such a good mood, yada, yada, yada. And he says, well, what about your happiness? You're unhappy. You ate almost the entire box of cookies by yourself, And so he is aware that she's not really herself. And so I kept saying before that, Michael was the only problem. But I take that back. He wasn't the only problem. They both had a problem when this first thing got started. His problem is, like I said, he lives in some type of state of denial or something. I don't know what is going on with him, and he easily allows people to divide them, meaning the child. Just a whole boundary issue thing. But where her problem that I see is that number one, she has to control so much stuff. I mean, I don't know if she feels like she can't rely on him or what, but she doesn't ask for help. She doesn't expect help, and when she does ask for it, he does come through. But I think she got some trauma. She got some childhood trauma, and it's manifesting by these, I keep calling them boundaries, but now that I think about it, it's more like she just compartmentalizes these different situations in order so that she could keep on functioning, because if she doesn't do that, she wouldn't be able to function. And so I think that's probably what she had to do with her mother, because her mother is very overbearing. I know we're going to see more of that. And so this has become her coping mechanism, her defense mechanism. This is how she's able to stand. She's everything to everybody. She does everything well. Okay, so sometimes when people feel like they are out of control or they don't have any control over their lives, they actually become a lot more controlling. They try to control everything that's happening around them. This way, they can stay safe and they can protect themselves. So I don't know if that's the case with her, but I do think we're going to find out as we continue to learn more about the Barnett family and more about this little Natalia Grace. All right, so it's agreed that Michael is going to have to take Natalie to work with him tomorrow. And yeah, he's going to have to take her to work with him tomorrow because she has something, she's planning on meeting up with that lady about, what's going on. So anyway, Michael comes into the room and he's just so happy. He's still just head over heels. He's happy that he's a stepfather, not a stepfather. Yeah, she completely distracts the meeting. Even his boss asks him if everything is okay. The boss never knows that Natalia is in the room, but the bottom line is she continues to be a distraction. She doesn't follow directions. She does what she wants to do, and she's just defiant. She's defiant. She is a defiant child. So we think child. So anywho, the guy is like, okay, I'm going to cut to the chase and stop patronizing you. And boom, he lets him know, pretty much, we're closing your store. Yeah, you might have the highest performing store in the area. You might love this job, but we're cutting this store and we're going to be closed in 3 months. And do not tell your employees. We're going to start liquidating, yada, 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 yada. So anyway, on the way home, Michael is falling apart, as anybody would be. When you know you got a job and you love your job and you're doing well at your job, and sales, the numbers talk. So his numbers were talking, but they still decided they were going to close his store, and he was crushed. He was crushed. I feel like to some degree that's sort of all he has. All he has is his family and his job. That's it. That's it. He don't seem to have no type of life outside of that. So losing your job, and then him losing his job as a man and all, he was crushed. He was crushed, and he literally fell apart in the car. And that's the difference between him and Christine. Christine would not fall apart in front of the children. She would not fall apart in front of Natalia. She able to mask it and control her emotions better. This man literally had a breakdown in front of Natalia and then asked her not to tell mommy. So again, all of these unhealthy behaviors, all of this secret keeping, who are you in a relationship with? You in a relationship with your wife. Who you in a relationship with? Because y'all seem to have a whole lot of secrets between the two of y'all that y'all keeping away from mommy. I don't like that about Michael. That's not cool. That's not cool right there. So anyway, Natalia decides that she's going to really put her spin on it, because, this little girl lies like it ain't nothing. She lies like it ain't nothing. So Christine is saying something, and I don't remember what it was, but it sort of seemed like she was coming down on him a little bit or whatever. And so Natalia wanted to save the day. So she was like, yeah, mommy, daddy got a great promotion today. So guess who got a promotion? He got him a kiss, a hug, all of that for this promotion. Okay? And he should have put a stop to that mess right there. But instead, he's going to let it go. So I guess we're going to find out maybe in the next episode, episode 3, exactly how long is he about to let this lie ride about him getting a promotion. Because most people, when they find out they're going to be out of a job in 3 months, they start looking for another job. They start making preparations. You let your partner, your spouse, significant other know what's up, so y'all can start planning how you're going to move your money around, or what you need to take care of, or whatever. But he doesn't do that. He just, and it's okay to break down, but it's not okay to break down in front of the kid. That's not all right. That's not okay. And that's one thing. I know I keep singing her praises, but I'm going to be on her too, because she's so in control. That's a person that's ready to fall apart right there. Anytime you just so in control, trust and believe, blow on that person the right way one day and they'll fall completely apart. So I see that coming for her. But just with Michael, I don't know. He got to get it together. He need a therapist, because go talk to the therapist. Don't talk to the 7-year-old about adult problems, okay? And don't talk to the 7-year-old about how mommy feels about you, because that don't have nothing to do with her, okay? Anyway, Michael, I had enough of you too. Like I said before, Christine need to take the 3 boys. She called them all Bud. So Bud, and Bud. She need to take them, and she need to go somewhere else. And she need to let Michael and Natalie have each other. Okay? Do that. And her mother can stay with them too. All right. So that is episode Oh wait, I almost forgot. I almost forgot something really important. Remember that whole thing with the knife? All right. So again, old girl comes over, the mama. She just be walking in the house, showing up out of nowhere, like she's, that's who she is apparently. And so when she walks in, Christine says, did we have an appointment that I forgot about? So what that tells me is she really don't like her mama. And for real, her mama need an appointment to come by and see her. So why is that? Probably because she has to prepare herself. She probably has to, gird up her loins. I'm telling you, they do not like this lady. I do not know why. I know it's going to come out, but and they don't care for her too much. So anyway, mom says that I don't remember what happened, but some kind of way Ethan went to the front door to get like the paper or something. And so as soon as he gets out there, he starts screaming and hollering because he just stepped on a tack. And immediately we all know Natalia did it because she had some thumbtacks in her room from last night. And I don't know if Ethan goes and gets the paper every morning or what her issue is with him, but she done took his cow, cut his head off, pulled the stuffing out, and now she done threw tacks out there for him to step on. So I don't know what her problem is with him, but there is a problem there between them with her. She has a problem with him. And so anyway, he's screaming and hollering and crying. Christine is like she knows Natalia did it. And Michael is like, why would you say that? I know I'm hating on Michael, but he deserves it. What do you mean, why would you say that? Weren't you just in her room last night and you seeing all the thumbtacks? Ain't no thumbtacks no place else. Use some deductive reasoning. Why somebody got to help you to figure that out? So anyway, she goes in the house, trying to take care of her son or whatever, and she decides to pull the drawer open. And when she pulls the drawer open, she sees that knife that she was looking for from the other day that was there, that knife isn't there anymore. So she don't even talk to nobody. She immediately goes right upstairs to Natalia's room and starts looking around in her room, pulling out stuff out the drawers, looking behind the books. She's doing everything because she know without a shadow of a doubt, don't care what nobody say, that knife is in that room. And she got down on her knees, and lo and behold, she found the other half of the stuffed bear with the stuffing pulled out, and she found the knife as well. So she goes downstairs and she puts it on the counter for her mother and for Michael to see. And this is what these people say. Mike says, she's just a little girl. Okay, this little girl got a knife under her bed, and that's your defense? She's just a little girl. And then her mother says, you're blowing it all out of proportion like you always do. You always see problems that don't exist. So here we go again with her mother. So maybe, I don't know if y'all see the issue with that, but okay, this woman just went upstairs and found the evidence to back up what she knew but could not prove. And the only thing her mother has to say is, you're blowing it all out of proportion like you always do. Okay, so that means you've been dismissing her whole life, pretty much. That means she can't talk to you. That means anytime she had a problem and she came to you, you dismissed her. You told her stop wallowing. When she wanted to cry, you told her to stop crying. That's why she said she learned not to wallow. Right, because mama wasn't tolerating that. You ain't had nobody to pat you on the back, give you a hug, tell you everything gonna be all right. In other words, get over it. Move on. Stop wallowing. That's where she got that from. I don't appreciate her mama saying that. Talking about you see a problem where there is no problem and where no problem exists. How the hell is there no problem when a 7-year-old has a knife under her bed? There's a problem. What is everybody in denial for? Mom is messy. That's all I got to say. So then her mother also said, could you please calm down and find me something to cut this with? Okay, that's how she ended up in the drawer anyway. You got people talking to you like this. Could you please calm down? Okay, all these different things that I've described going on, I think that somebody shouldn't be calm. Somebody should be trying to get to the bottom of it. But again, her mother dismisses her. And then she dismissed her. Let me tell you, when you want somebody to stop yelling at you, it's a technique that we use, anger management technique. What you do is you talk softer. If somebody is getting agitated, you don't get agitated with them. You bring your voice down because it helps you to stay in control of the situation because you don't need two people agitated. So what she did to Christine was she lowered her voice and she said, will you please calm down? Like treating her like she's a problem. Like she's a problem. I need to know more about the father. So let me wrap this up real quick. So anyway, she finds this knife. She finds this stuffed bear. And she is just trying to find Natalia. She's walking through the house and she's saying, Natalia! I like the way she was saying it. She was like, Natalia! She was sounding like Meredith Grey. Let me tell you, she acted her role too, because she's firm. She's firm just like a doctor. Let me tell you, her Grey's Anatomy skills came back. And she don't have no problem raising her voice at Natalia or being firm or whatever and still being within the right, and still being appropriate. So anyway, she going through the house, Natalia, Natalia, Natalia. So of course, Natalia is ignoring her ass because she don't respect her. She ain't listening to her. So then we hear the door slam to the bathroom. So Christine turns around and she starts walking towards the door. And she opened up that door and little Natty Batty puts her hands over her crotch and says, what are you doing? And that's when Christine comes out the bathroom and she's like, Michael, she has hair. And he's like, what? What hair? And she's like, down there. Yeah, Natty Batty has hair down there. Huh, a 7-year-old, right? Okay. So that's how episode 2 ended. So let me go back to that whole thing I was talking about the cravings and about the, oh, I didn't tell you this. When she was standing at the door with the knife and the teddy bear, she invited her to come into the bed to cuddle. She said, it's not time for that yet. Lil ho, what you mean it's not time for that yet? I'm going to tell you what I got out of it. You just give me a little bit more time, lady. I'm about to move you out of the way and I'm going to move myself right on in. She said, it's not time for that yet. And then this whole thing of being 7 with her big old head, laying her head on Michael's stomach facing his junk. And then the next scene being about cravings. And then we find out she got a whole boatload of hair. Come on now. That's a grown woman. It all makes sense. She got to be grown. She got to be grown something. Because she sure know how to manipulate. She sure know how to get under that man's skin. She's saying all the right things. She is I can't even believe he's falling for this mess right here. At his age, he's supposed to know better. But he being manipulated by a child. I hate to see if a grown woman got hold of him. Matter of fact, probably what's going on with him and this new wife that he have. Because like I said, he said, she's nothing like Christine. I took it as to be like a dig. But no, she's nothing like Christine. Period. So anyway, that's episode 2 of the Good American Family. And I'll be back maybe tomorrow with the review of episode 3, because episode 4 is going to be coming on next week, Wednesday. So I'll have that review on that following Thursday. So until then, talk to you guys later. Oh, one more thing. Please comment. Tell me what you think about some of my thoughts and theories. I don't think that everything I'm suggesting is correct. It's just my opinion or whatever. But I would love to hear you guys' opinion. I want to know what you think, etc. All right, so my phone is ringing, interrupting my recording. So I guess we're going to go ahead and end it right here. Thanks, y'all.